Alrighty, guys, welcome to Paid in Passion, where we let your passion work for you. Today, we came with another guest, another UJ alum.
Go Dogs.
Go. Brian Lucier. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. So, Brian Lucier, I'm a media professional and filmmaker.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Could you explain that for us?
Oh man. So I guess it's two parts. So I'll explain the media professional part. Um, Commercial director, producer, music video director, producer, uh, creative, all encompassing, and then filmmaker, director, producer. So I guess I could have just said director, producer, but it's many different facets of that.
Yeah, since you're not limited, you have the different levels of all this. Obviously, this is something that I'm even myself not really so well diversed in. So I greatly appreciate you
Appreciate you
for coming
having
to
me,
the
bro.
show, coming to the interview, and we're just gonna dive in. So my first question is going to be, what got you into the the media field, the media industry?
What got me into it? The cliche answer is I always love watching movies. I grew up an only child, so it wasn't much options for me as far as like entertaining myself as a kid. So I just used to watch movies all the time.
Okay.
My parents would take me to Blockbuster every Friday. We was at the movie theater probably every other weekend. I was the kid that saw all the new releases, so I was just watching a lot of movies, and I tried acting for a little bit when I was like 10. It lasted like 3 months, and I was like, this isn't it, but I still want to do something in this, which led me to movies. So that was my primary, and then as it expanded as I got older, I got my first camera, and I'm like, okay, I can't make a big budget like Harry Potter right now, but what can I do with a camera? And that just opened up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities. Whatever I could do with the resources that I had as a teenager.
Right. And that really goes into, if you really have your mind on a mission, you'll be able to do what you can do with the resources that you have at a moment.
Absolutely.
Because you can always, get the biggest camera, get the biggest lights and everything. But if you're not really invested in what you want to do, all those would be wasted. So it's a great thing that, you had this vision of what you wanted to do, and you did what you did with what you had, and now you have what you have.
Absolutely.
And doing even greater things.
It just really all compounds on each other, It just all adds up the more you keep going.
Right. So did you have any other desires growing up? As far as like
this was it. It was always the entertainment and media field. I'm blessed to be able to say that I have pursued my plan A and made my plan A shape. What I went to school to do. So I majored in entertainment and media studies, which was basically production basics. I minored in film studies, got out of school. I'm in the industry that I went to school for.
Right.
So I'm blessed to say my plan A has panned out. So this was always it.
That's great to hear. So I know you basically had a long journey within this entertainment industry, and I'm sure you've had many highs which you will come to. But something that I want to help encourage my audience to know is that everything that we go through, you're going to have those lows, and it's really just about what you do to, I don't want to say this, what you do with those lows to make you a better person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's kind of ironic that you say that. So I saw something on my Instagram this morning with an actor. I can't remember the name. So if you're watching this, then I'm sorry, I would give you the proper credit. But he said he was talking to his therapist. He was like, man, like when I have high highs, like I'm he's like, when I have high highs, like I'm up there. I just hate that my lows are so low. And his
Right.
therapist, he was like, I just want to like balance that out. So I feel balanced. My lows aren't so high. And his therapist was like, you gotta think about like if you're in the hospital and you know, I can't think of the term right now, but the heart monitor is going up and down. But if it steadies out, I mean flatline.
Right.
Like it's over. So it's just a matter of riding those waves. It's gonna dip down low sometimes, but you
Right.
kind of just gotta stay forward thinking because it's gonna go back up. So yeah, I've had my fair share of lows. Like definitely with pursuing that plan A is not a it's not an easy path. And then you can get on Instagram and everybody's only sharing their highlights, but real life, when you're pursuing something, pursuing a passion, there's gonna be some lows that you gotta weather. So.
Right. There's one thing, even again, what some of the things that I try to do to help encourage myself, even doing things like this, is listen to other podcasts that are similar to what I do. So, again, I also forgot the name of the podcast. So if you're watching, I'll give you proper credit. But the person that was in the interview was Steve Harvey, and I'm not really sure if everyone knows about his career and how he became what he became, but he definitely you had to go through a lot of rough patches to get to where he is now. And one thing that really stood out to me was him saying that every failure is supposed to have the reasons for failures is to have two outcomes, a lesson and a blessing. But you have to get out of those failure times. You can't let the failure define you.
Oh yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
So it's like after those times, you failed, you learned. With you learning that way, you're able to make better decisions in the future. You're going to have better outcomes based off of those better decisions. And when you sow what you reap.
So you reap what you sow.
When you reap what you
Yeah,
sow,
there you
yeah.
go.
When you reap what you sow,
There you go.
it's more than what you sow. You can plant one apple seed and you're gonna get 20 apples.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's just about what you do with that. So that's pretty great. So when you talked about school going into entertainment media studies, can you kind of talk to us about how you ended up choosing a school like UJ for this?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I guess I'll start before school. So my first exposure to production, filmmaking, making a movie, my parents put me in this summer camp for teenagers. I think when I was like 15, it was called like Camp Flicks, and it was like a week long. We were at the first summer was at Emory. The second summer was at Oglethorpe. It was just different teenagers. They put us in a group by age group. I think it's like this is your group. You guys make a short film.
Okay.
By the end of the week, we're gonna have like a little screening. You invite your family, all of that. So that was my first like exposure of writing a script and working with a team, shooting this movie, and then presenting it to an audience. So it's like I want to do this. So I did that 2 summers. And one thing my mom would always tell me is like, this industry is built on networking.
Right.
I'm like 16. I don't really know what that means yet, but it's just like, I know you're really passionate about this, but when you get out, it's going to be solely rely on networking. So go into looking for a college, just like any other 18-year-old. Like nobody really knows what. I just know that I love Georgia.
Right.
My older brother played football at University of Georgia. So I had exposure to Georgia, and then I'm touring. I'm like, who has the best media program, especially in state? UGA happened to be restructuring theirs at the time. So their mass media arts program, they were really tailoring it to production basics because Georgia was becoming the Hollywood of the South.
Yeah.
Georgia was booming for production. People moving from LA to Georgia for this. So University of Georgia program was like sold me specifically like, by the time you apply for your major, this program is going to be tailored to give you the basics that you need when you get out of college to go into the industry that's booming in Georgia. So I was like, cool. So that's what sold me. So I went in with the expectation that I was gonna get in. Very competitive major. I think it had like 60 slots in Grady. Wow. And I was on the wait list. I was number 63. So shout out to them 3 people that dropped.
We appreciate
people,
you.
yes, I really appreciate you. I have no idea what you did for me. So the 3 people that dropped to open up a spot for me in that major, and then I did not take it for granted. So I was able to get my introduction to screenwriting, directing, like being able to direct a couple short films, editing, and how to use those different softwares. Just learning about the television industry as well as film. So yeah, shout out to UGA Entertainment and Media Studies program. And then I was balancing being a film studies minor at the same time. So I had the coolest minor because I had to watch movies like every week and dissect them.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one thing that I try to enforce with my students, just as far as how important networking is. Like literally straight up, first day of class, no one knows what's going on. The first assignment is for you to meet someone that you don't know, talk to them, give me 3 facts about that person, and based off what you say, I'm gonna ask you a follow-up question. So it's not simply he likes basketball. Okay, does he have a favorite basketball team? Does he have this? Does he have that? And what I try to, and some of it is clicking, and I kind of hate that sometimes it comes to a point where you realize things too well. People as humans, we realize things too late, and now we only have the choice of thinking back in hindsight. But the power of networking is crazy, and what you can do with a 5-minute conversation can literally make your whole life.
For sure. That's it's very similar to the first day in my major. Like my professor in our intro class was like, look to your left, look to your right. These are the people that you're gonna work with in this industry. You may not know that right now, but these are the people that you're gonna work with. And a couple of years later, I'm watching an interview with Issa Rae, and she's talking about the concept of working across, like especially in the media industry and the entertainment industry. A lot of people are like come in with the expectation they're gonna work up. Like I need to get this in front of this famous person so they can put me on.
Right.
And that's not really how it go. But if you work with your homeboy that got a camera and your homegirl that got some lights and you working across your network, y'all can really cook up something with what you got. And these are the same people that you're in the trenches with. Like these are the same people that you are cooking up the ideas with. Y'all are growing together. So it's a lot of like growth in working across networking.
Okay, that sounds good. And it's a fact though. It's a fact. So my next question is, you mentioned, of course, we're talking about network right now, and not to go too deep into who your network is, but can you tell us, maybe like one of your favorite memories or one of your best memories so far as being in the industry?
Yeah, network. Honestly, there's a season of my life when just fresh out of school, just like knowing that I didn't want to be a videographer, but I wanted to be in production, and I had to work with a team to get the quality of the stuff that I wanted to make. So out of that, was able to form a media collective, Neighborhood Rejects, that was just me and other creatives that had experience with a camera, and we were just like, that was our day to day, was just creating. We were blessed to grow with our clients that came to us and saw our work and wanted to work with us. So yeah, that network is also afforded this room that we're shooting out of right now. Shout out to my boy E-Man for setting this up. So yeah, my network of working across has opened a lot of doors for sure. So I've had like networks that I've worked on independent films that have been like, that have worked on other television shows that as like production assistants, or were hired on shows and was like, do you want to come work on this show? And those doors have opened, more doors, because I get on the show and then meet another person and another person. So the whole thing just relies on just making those good genuine connections too. I also want to stress that, like,
Right.
not networking just off of a facade, like
Right.
presenting what somebody else can do for you,
Right.
like genuinely making a connection off of this somebody. I like their vibe. I
Right.
like that we can mesh. Let's see what we can
Right.
what we can do, like
Right.
making real genuine connections.
Yeah. And I feel like people can always kind of feel if you're just trying to use them
Hmm.
for, either use them for clout or use them for the resources versus, you know, you like me as a person,
Yeah,
although
yeah,
I am this person,
yeah,
but you generally, we generally have this friendship or whatever we have going on, and I like spending time with you, or, you know, we can have a conversation
yeah.
without all this.
Yeah,
So
like you got to beware of the snakes. Like
yeah.
if we can't go out and get like a bite to eat for real, like aside from the project that we're working on,
Hmm.
we probably
Yeah.
we probably shouldn't be exchanging contact for real, because
Right.
somebody's gonna get used,
Yeah.
and it's not trying to do that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. So that's great. So I want to rewind back to Neighborhood Rejects.
Mhm.
Do you guys have like a page for this?
So neighborhood rejects is, we are officially defunct.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like as a unit. But how that happened was when you have a collective of freelancers.
Hmm.
um you know, everybody has their own lane,
Hmm.
different opportunities. Operating as a business
Hmm.
uh gets a little sticky, because like you got to adjust schedules, you
Yeah.
got to adjust like time and comparing schedules with each other. But it don't work out, because somebody could be on one show and another person could be on another project that lasts X amount of months,
Hmm.
but you still got bills that got to get paid. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because you're still operating as a business.
Hmm.
So that was definitely a fun season. It
Hmm.
was a great season. Opened many doors, opened many networks.
Hmm.
But now I think you can find us all venturing
Hmm.
into different ventures. Some exciting ones
Yeah.
that are coming up.
Right.
Especially personally, I got some coming up that's in the
Okay.
same vein,
Yeah. Okay.
same vein of that.
We
But
look we
yeah,
look forward to that. We look
thank
forward
you,
to that.
thank you.
And so that even goes back talking about genuine relationships, because although at the you guys had your season of Neighborhood Rejects and it was a great time. I even remember parts of it. You guys
Appreciate it,
still have this
appreciate it.
friendship
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's all love. It's all
Right.
for sure. Like we was like, I look at it as like, if you're around for this, you're gonna get this. Our future, like,
Hmm.
like you had Tyler, you had Earl, you had Frank Ocean. They were all a collective
Right.
on the internet. They were all under this label. They were all under this collective, but they were all their different
Yeah.
artists, and they had to eventually branch out into their own different
Hmm.
artists. So that, it's a lot of excitement in that. A lot of excitement in closing the book on
Hmm.
one, closing the chapter on one chapter, and then moving on to
Hmm.
another, but still maintaining that genuine network and relationship. So if I need you for a project, I can call you, and then also like, yo, like, what's up? Like, how you doing? You want to
Yeah.
go grab something to eat? So
Yeah.
it's all about maneuvering through
Yeah.
this industry.
Yeah.
For
Okay, that sounds good. So we just heard the word freelancing,
yes,
and I am sure that it's a new word to lots of people. Can you kind of explain to us what freelancing is, how you got into freelancing, and kind of what you're thinking about with it now?
yeah. So freelance, and this is especially for the creatives. In my definition, I don't know what the Webster definition is, but you are your own boss. You are your own. Yeah, you're your own everything. You pretty much work for yourself.
Hmm.
You are your brand. You don't have to clock in for a 9 to 5. You are your 9 to 5, or you are whatever hours you set. So
Hmm.
sometimes you gotta be responsible like me, and not like work around the clock, because that
Hmm.
could happen. But yeah, so it's really like project based, for a lot of creatives, especially myself as a freelancer, because it's a gig to gig. This is where the network comes in. It's who's calling your phone. It's what clients are aware of your work. It's
Right.
who you've gotten your work in front of. Because it's just all about maintaining.
Hmm.
But then you, like I said, you your own boss, so you're your own everything. You're your own accountant. You got to maintain all of this as your own entity as a freelancer. But it's fun. It's fun and it's stressful,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it is definitely something that afford, and it's a lifestyle as well.
Hmm.
Like it being able to set your own schedule, but knowing you still got some work to get done or a
Right.
project that has to get completed. No 2 days are ever really the same
Hmm.
as a freelancer. No two projects are the same,
Hmm.
but it affords a lot. It
Hmm.
affords a lot. There's a lot of freedom in it.
Okay.
So
What got you into it, or how were you introduced?
um almost accidentally. I ain't
Hmm.
gonna lie to you. Uh, just fresh out of college, there was a lot of different routes that I could have taken,
Right.
especially in the media. Like and there were different avenues that I tried. Like, what if I go work for this company that's not exactly what I want to do? I won't be able to call the shots, but I will still be in the building of this corporation.
Hmm.
Um, so it kind of just fell into it, especially around the time where Neighborhood Rejects was really cooking.
Hmm.
And then we were like building our clientele,
Hmm.
and then also, kind of getting a little check off of it, and like
Right.
seeing the fruits of the labor from it,
Hmm.
and being able to try different positions. Like I might direct this project, and then I might produce this project, whatever. And I'm still a freelancer, so it's kind of something that I fell into, and then I hopped on YouTube University and
Yeah.
started looking into some videos and like learning how to actually do this. And
Hmm.
then the hard part was really accepting like you're a freelancer, especially
Hmm.
when you got friends that are on a more traditional path, or you have friends that are getting promotions, or
Hmm.
they're comfortable, or they're being able to they're on their second apartment or
Hmm.
whatnot, and you're like, man, like my motion not really looking like exactly like that right
Hmm.
now, but I know it's coming. Like
Right.
that's the challenging part about
Yeah.
freelance, and especially fresh out of school,
Hmm.
fresh out of college, like 22, 23 years old, and figuring it out post grad. But yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind. It's a lot
Right.
of people that leave their 9 to 5s to freelance full
Hmm.
time. And a lot of freelancers who going back to their 9 to 5
Hmm.
is just a lot of consistency with it,
Hmm.
or it has to require a lot of
Yeah,
consistency
definitely, definitely. Is it like a website that you just go to, like
to
freelancing in this field?
uh there's some really, it's really like positioning yourself. There's a few, I wish I could name them off the top of my head, but
Hmm.
like I'd pretty much use what everybody else use, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about my field is that I can use my social media to market
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
So my social media is pretty much like a portfolio,
Hmm.
as well as having my own website. And then there's a matter of cold emailing,
Hmm.
like sending these emails to these clients that you want to potentially work with. Like,
Hmm.
here's my work, here's what I do, and really selling yourself and marketing yourself, and just being like, hey, I would love to work with you if you would love to work with me. But there are also some sites where you can, they're posting listings of,
Hmm.
we're looking for this job, we're looking for a stills photographer, we're looking for a videographer, and then you can post, apply for that just like any other job, because freelance it's a lot in this the field. A lot of positions can be freelancers,
Hmm.
photographers,
Okay.
videographers, makeup stylists. Like most people in the industry, you'll find that they're freelancers.
Okay.
So
Okay. And I can see that though. That
yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense. And I can tell definitely because another thing that I'm trying to do with these videos is to like when I'm looking to help like teens and young
mm,
adults, is trying to match up the type of person they are to the field or to the career
right, right,
because we can all have, well, I don't want to say it like that. There's just certain things that you have to know that you're going to face when you go into the field.
oh yeah,
So going to freelancing, you obviously have to be very disciplined. You have to be consistent. You have to be determined.
yeah, all of those,
You can say a lot of careers involve that, but especially with this one, it's like you're not consistent, you're not determined, you're not
Yeah.
you're not gonna
You don't eat.
yeah,
Like,
you don't eat.
you
Like
don't eat. Like,
you actually see
there's a lot of, and then
what
there's
you're
a,
coming out with.
yeah,
Like
there's a lot of things that's out of your control. Like I said, it's a gig industry, so you can get a gig that lasts for X amount of months,
right.
and then your phone might not ring for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make sure you put that bread aside
Right.
for real, to be straight, and then managing your money.
Right.
That's something important. Managing your own books, making sure that you know everything's organized. Like,
Mhm.
you really have to be your own boss, your own accountant, all of that. So
Do you think there's a difference between freelancing and like entrepreneurship, or like what is?
it's probably like a Venn diagram, I would say.
Okay.
Like, there's overflows,
Mhm.
but like an entrepreneur can be a freelancer,
Right.
but you can also be a freelancer,
That's
not necessarily an entrepreneur.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Um,
Okay.
Unless you, but then it overlaps. So soft launch, I'm in the process of launching a new venture, that would be an LLC that I operate under
Mhm.
as a freelancer.
That's good.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. So somebody really put me on game when I launched my first LLC way back after my first internship. Shout out Mr. Aaron Paxton Arnold, put me on. So registered as an LLC. So all of my freelance opportunities will be registered under this company.
Okay.
So now, because it's a registered business, technically an entrepreneur as well.
Right.
So
okay, that's nice. Okay, you putting me on game too. I feel that. Okay. That just made me a little too excited. I started thinking about some other stuff.
Oh yeah,
man.
good. Oh, we're gonna chat more about that in detail off the record, off the books, off the books.
Okay, I like that. Actually, I do. All right. So going back to neighborhood rejects, how are you able to find these people that you can kind of say we all kind of have like the same goal, or we have a mission? Because a lot of times we probably have group ideas, but we don't know how to execute them.
Right. So short answer, network. But I'll tell you the story. So I towards the end of my senior year at UGA, I shot a music video for an artist, and I did it very solo. I've never shot a music video solo ever again. I was my own lighting, I was my own camera, I was directing. I was like, this is a lot, and it took a lot out of me. And I just graduated, and I really want to do it.
Right.
I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to the greatest frat of all time. So my frat brother, Emmanuel, that I knew from Kennesaw State, I would just see him on the gram, and he was doing the same thing. Like, he was shooting videos, he was shooting music videos, he was doing the same thing at Kennesaw. So when the opportunity came for me to shoot a music video again with the same artist, I was like, I can't do it. Like, I physically can't do it again. So I called an email. I was like, bro, do you want this project? Like, I don't want to do it, but I can recommend you to do it. And he was like, cool. My only stipulation is that you pull up on the set. Like, just come pull up. Like, you ain't got to do nothing. Just come kick it. So E-Man shot the video. I pulled up on the set, and then we end up just kind of like collabing accidentally because it was a small music video. And then it was like, that was kind of fun. Like, we can for sure do that. And E-Man got to telling me about, the people that he knew over at Kennesaw that was still doing the same thing, Tommy and Daka. And he was like, they're all doing the same thing. So a few months later, also forgot to mention that Neighborhood Rejects had already been a thing that they had started in a previous iteration that had kind of like fallen off. Like, some people chose different paths in the original group. So they had did the other thing, but E-Man was still like, I want to bring back Neighborhood Rejects. We can do it again. Let's do it the right way. Like, so that fall was just us launching, and then this person, this artist, let's do a music video with them. Let's do a music video with them. I know this person that got a brand. Let's shoot a commercial for them.
Okay.
And then the clientele just kind of started rolling from there. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So networking and trading contacts, and this is who's in your phone, this is who's in my phone. I know this person this person just hit me up. You want to produce this? Let me direct it. Like, cool. Like it was definitely an opportunity that let us just cook, and it was fun.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
So just building with who you know.
Right.
So yeah.
So of course you already said freelancing is something you make it how you do it. The hours that you spend, the many hours that you spend has to go towards that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So besides all that, when is your downtime? What do you enjoy doing outside of media, talking to clients, recording, directing?
So I still never lost the first love of watching movies. So I just like strike out solo, go watch a movie at the movie theater, or turn something on. Got back into reading. That's been a pastime. The downtime of the pandemic afforded me a chance to start picking up some books again. So that was cool. Self-care days, I like to hit the spa, get a massage every couple months. Gotta get that in. And then just calling up my friends. Like I never can't lose sight of the friendships. Like I generally find inspiration with just hanging with my friends. So I never want to get too much to the point where I'm working too much where I don't have time for my people. Like I really want to make sure I keep that straight. So it's just a matter of just balancing my time. Balancing my time.
Okay. What advice would you have for, I want to say specifically, young film directors and then those just going into the entertainment industry?
Let's see. Let's start with those that are going into the industry in general. And I want to start there because there are so many different roles in the industry that I found out when I got experience just by being like a production assistant or being a first assistant director on independent films. That you can be a production coordinator, you can be a production manager, you can find yourself in the camera department, you can find yourself in the lighting department. Really find out what your niche is and then zero in on that, because there's when you look at the credits on a movie, a TV show, whatever it is that you're watching, most people don't. But if you ever like take the time to actually look at it, it's a lot of roles. There's a lot of departments. These are jobs. Like there's a lot of opportunities for it. So just find out where you fit in on that and then have fun with it. My advice for directors, if you feel like you got stories to tell, tap in on that and figure out what it is that makes it specific to you. Why is it that you want to tell these stories? What is it that you want to communicate with people through your films or your series or what it is? Find your voice, and it's gonna take a lot of making some things that are bad. That's cool. People don't have to see it, but it's a lot of experimenting. So don't be afraid to start, and don't be afraid to fail.
Okay. No, that's great advice. Do you have any role models in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Issa Rae.
Yeah.
Issa Rae is a big one. Just her start on the web with
YouTube
Awkward
and all
Black
that.
Girl, and just that was no budget. Like they were just making it happen, and it still found the audience that afforded her the connections to get to HBO, to have Insecure, to successfully run for 5 seasons and then have her production company. Like that's a come up.
I actually just listened to her podcast like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, she has plenty of great speeches. I watched her masterclass a couple summers ago. Fantastic stuff. Ryan Coogler is another one. Just I think he has a flawless filmography, and he's just authentic, and you can tell that everything that he touches is personal. There's something about what he puts into each one of his films that's like, that was a Ryan Coogler film. Nobody else could have made that. Even with the Black Panther, like even managing to make something as massive on a Marvel scale and still find a way to talk about stuff like grief or like legacy. Like that's cool. Donald Glover as well, just from being from the east side of Atlanta, like myself, being how, you know, a comedian and a writer and a director and an actor, like
so much, a rapper,
like that showed me like, bro, like you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one form of the arts. Like you can do all of this and still be creative and still find a following and still make good stuff that people want to talk about and dissect. So anybody that's, oh, and I can't forget the master Spike Lee. Yes, yeah. The master Spike Lee, just taking a deep dive into his films, like the GOAT.
Yeah. That's
right. Ava DuVernay, like she's dope as well. Like there's a lot of talented Black filmmakers that I aspire to hopefully join the list.
Yeah, you will.
So
for sure.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that's my inspo.
And I look forward to. Another thing is that I like to see the progress. So I definitely look forward to. We're gonna have our part 2 interview.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have our part 2 interview.
I'm excited to see where this is.
Yeah,
like, I know this is your 3rd episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where you are. The end of this year, this time next year.
Yeah.
We had some chats off camera about how this is, where you see this, and you know, well, like we said, I'm a resource, so whatever I can do. To, you know, just hit my line.
Definitely.
We can chat about it. But you got something good here. I appreciate you having me on.
Definitely.
And it's gonna be good.
Okay. So the last thing we have here. All right. So you walk out of this building right now.
Right.
And you go to your car. And the first thing you do is remember that you need to put on your hat forward before you start driving, because the sun is too bright outside, as you can see.
Okay.
Next thing you know, the dog that you forgot that was in your back seat, fin fell off. And so now you know you have to walk it into the ocean to find its 3rd fin. But while you're walking into the ocean, the beluga whale remember the beluga whale that we talked about off scene?
For sure, yeah.
The beluga whale says, "Oh wait, you forgot that you left the fin at UJ in the I'm just making up something. I ain't have a joke to that. So
you just ramble. I thought it was coming. I thought it was like some Mad Libs, like fill in the blank. I didn't know where it was going. I was like, bro, I want to know the end of the story. Like, does the dog have gills? Like,
see, how's
the dog breathing?
The dog
in the back
does
seat?
have gills, but it's like one of those amphibian type.
Word, because we've been in here for a minute, so that dog might be like.
But you know, like the evaporation.
True.
So, you know, it's still like on that last couple 3 minutes.
I ain't leaving my windows down. We in Atlanta, so can't do that.
But you know, the water boys around here though, so you know they probably did something.
All right.
But thank you guys for tuning in to Paid in Passion. Let your passion work for you. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this. And scene.
And that's a wrap.
And scene.